Hello again and welcome back to Casterton Vintage Videos. Today we're at the 2025 UK National Ploughing Match, held near Coventry in England. We've got lots to see, including tractors, steam engines, horses and even a tank ploughing. As you might imagine, if it's a national ploughing match, you can expect an awful lot of ploughmen, and the highest number I could find in the catalogue was number 255. You also need a lot of space for them to plough, and this year the match was spread over at least 25 different fields. That's going to involve an awful lot of walking, so we'll see how we go and we'll catch as many ploughmen as we possibly can. And our first class is the Vintage Trailed, and we're just in time to catch the opening splits. I go to a lot of ploughing matches, but I've never seen this case tractor with a home-built cab on it before. Most ploughmen prefer to have an open tractor, but when it's pouring with rain, this cab would be very welcome. Something unusual, this Fordson's got a heat exchanger in the exhaust to improve the paraffin vaporisation. And it's working with this international plough, quite an unusual sight at ploughing matches. And here's one of my favourites, the Fordson Model F. We'll see more of this tractor later. The next section I want to visit is the high cut and the horse ploughing. And to get there we have to pass through the trade stands and static displays. I hope we can catch this Fordson working later on this mill. And we found some steam, Marshall 37823, built in 1902. The Roadless 78, this was on the Ford and Fordson stand. Along with a very good cross section of other Ford and Fordson tractors. However, there was one I hadn't seen before. And that was this, a high-speed Dexter. And we're told it has a high-speed road gear, hydraulic brakes and extra wide mudguards. Next, a D2 and D4 Caterpillar celebrating the Caterpillar centenary. And then a little International T20 crawler. And we've arrived at the horses. If you like to see horses ploughing, there's no better place than the National Ploughing Match. I think there were 15 sets here today.
King seems to speak, Chloe.
Wanted to get the job done quicker.
Well, we've dropped Sergeant out, so he's getting old, a bit older now. So we've dropped him out too. So King stepped in this year.
Yeah.
And he thinks it's all about...
Is King the one you...
So King is one of Kevin's leaders. He's only young, he's 7.
Right.
So he's one of the lead horses.
Yeah.
So he's doing this like a lead horse.
Yeah.
Watching the horses for a little while, you soon realise just how keen they are to pull the plough. These two are quietly resting until the driver lifts the reins and we're ready. Let's go.
Should we keep walking?
And this is actually quite an unusual sight, a riding plough behind horses at a ploughing match. And next to the horses we've got the high cut ploughing. They'd only really just got started, and this was about the most anybody had done. We'll come back later when there's a bit more to see. Our next stop is at the steam ploughing, and we've got two sets of engines working. This first pair are BB1s built in 1919 at John Fowler in Leeds. As the plough arrives at the right-hand engine, we'll move up to the top of the field and we'll watch the left-hand engine pull it back.
Was that move the engine when you stop in the middle of the field? Roger. I think when I've been kept going, I've been knocked in the back, I think. Saves on the water while we're going down.
Ploughing started on a bent hedge, so they're going to now stop about halfway up the field and try and take some of the bend out.
Do you want some more weight? You want to pull? Yeah, you can do it now.
You want more weight if you want to go and pull?
Go on, Ian. Just trying to straighten the plough down.
I'll better take a photo, haven't I? The right thing out.
There we go. Oh, just do that.
Our next working pair are made up out of this quite rare Fowler K5, and at the opposite end of the field it's working with a Fowler K7.
We don't mine anymore.
And here we are with the K7 at the opposite end of the field. This engine was built by John Fowler in 1913 and carries engine number 13831. They're working with this 3-furrow French-built balance plough. It's time now for us to retrace our steps back across to the ploughing area. And some of the exhibits have now been uncovered since we were here last. This is a Marshall threshing drum, and unusually for a British design, it's mostly made of steel. This is quite an unusual tractor to see in the UK, a Massey Ferguson 825, made in Beauvais, France. And I'm not sure, but I don't think it was marketed in the UK. It would be a mid-60s tractor. And on the back of it is a Lister Blackstone fertiliser spreader. That would have been made in my hometown of Stamford, I think. A grey Fergie with a Perkins engine conversion. And mounted on the back of it, a plough from Newland and Son. That's one I've not heard of before. I'm thinking this must be quite rare. Perhaps somebody will leave me a comment and tell me all about it. And we've just timed this right to catch the mill working. We've made it back all the way across to the trail plough section again, so we'll have a walk round and see how everybody's getting on. So we'll pause from the trowel and we'll head across to the vintage mounted section. It's only 2 fields away, and then we'll come back here and catch the trowels finishing. And where better to start than with last year's winner. And here's the start that goes with it. If you're wondering about how green everywhere is, this is actually a stubble field, but it's organic, so there's quite a lot of undersown grass. I know nothing about organic farming, but I can tell you there's quite a lot of nitrogen fixing clover in here. At the far end of the field we come across quite a tidy plot, and it turned out to be the winner for the day. And that looks pretty good to me. Unfortunately, I got distracted and forgot to video the start. Next we move into a different field for the final few of the vintage mounted class. And it does show very clearly the difference in the soil type across the site. Some areas are much drier than others, and this also shows up in the amount of grass. There's not much land left to plough now, and we're just in the right place at the right time to catch up with some finishes. That looks pretty good. You can leave some points out of 20 in the comments if you like. And there's the start that goes with it. And if you left points on the last one, how about this one out of 20? And the start. And there's another nice finish for you to leave me some points on in the comments. We're going to move back now to the trail class and watch some finishes there. And now we're at what turned out to be the winning plot of the day in the trail class. Now it's time for a mad dash back across the site to see if I can catch some finishes in the high cut class. I don't think there are any age restrictions on the tractors in high cut, and this is quite a nice 434 International, built late 60s, early 70s. And at the other end of the spectrum, of course, we've got a wartime standard Fordson. A nice International W4 with a diesel conversion. And this is a Super Dexter, and that's the winning finish produced by this outfit. And next to the high cut, you'll remember, is the horse ploughing, and we're getting down to the last little bit where they finish it with just a single horse. And that's all the match ploughing I've got for you today, but there's one last little treat. We're going to see this tank with a 6-foot Dowdesel reversible at work. Unfortunately, they've had a little bit of a disaster. They've burnt out the remote control unit that works the hydraulics for the plough, so they're having to climb underneath the tank and operate the hydraulics manually, and also help, as you can see here.
Health and safety, aren't what you know.
That's it. Go the other way. No, go. Wait. Go the other way. I'm working on it. There you go. Oh no, it just was clean earlier.
Well, that's pretty impressive. You don't see one of those every day. And that's about it from Casterton Vintage this week. I hope you've enjoyed the National Ploughing match. If you have, don't forget to give us a like and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you again very soon with another video.